What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Around the Table Sports. We got a few different videos planned today. A lot of fun content, a lot of stuff to talk about, but before we get into it, as always, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and like the video if you enjoy it. Drop a comment down below, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first topic we have to talk about is college football related, because last week, things went about as you thought they would go, right? Aside from Kansas State getting upset, and then the biggest upset of the weekend was easily Iowa State getting just manhandled by Louisiana. Now, for those of you that don't know, Louisiana is a very, very well-coached school with Coach Billy Napier. Billy Napier used to coach at Alabama. He's got a long history of some pretty prestigious coaching jobs, so it makes sense that he would be running a very good program. But there is a difference, or there is supposed to be a difference, at least, between a well-run Louisiana and an Iowa State. Particularly an Iowa State that was being lauded by the national media with a quarterback that was being lauded by the national media. And even myself, right? I put out a top 10 quarterback list, and I'm fairly certain I had Brock Purdy at the 8th or 9th best quarterback in the nation. And after what I saw against Louisiana, hey, I'm here first in line to eat crow, because there are disappointing performances in football. Then there are just flat out bad performances in football. And Brock Purdy last week was just bad, right? And it wasn't just Brock Purdy that was bad. A lot of that Iowa State team was bad, but he is certainly not going to be absolved of any blame in that loss, because it was really bad. But particularly that Iowa State special teams is atrocious. And quite frankly, I'd be very, very shocked to learn that that special team coach didn't have to drive back to his house afterwards without a job, because there was a point in the game where Louisiana had more yards in special teams, punt returns, kickoff returns, than they did on offense. I have never, in the entire life I have lived, seen a team have more special team yards than they did offense. And it's not like that was during the first quarter when that happened. No, the figure, and I might be wrong on a few yards, but it was very close to 217 yards of offense as compared to 218 yards of special team play. That's inexcusable. Right, and I understand Brock Purdy couldn't have controlled that. But what Brock Purdy could have controlled, he didn't do a very good job of controlling it. So the question must be asked, how does this affect his draft stock? Well, that's tough to tell, because in a year where coronavirus is going to just cause an influx of question marks around all prospects, whether you played or not, it's kind of hard to gauge where someone will be drafted. And certainly, Brock Purdy has all season to make up for that bad game. But if you don't think that when it comes time to the draft and when it comes time to scouts looking at him, that won't be one of the first performances they look at to really dissect the quarterback of Brock Purdy, you're beside yourself. That right there is not going to help him in the draft. Nobody could possibly argue that it would, and it will hurt him. To what degree is completely up to Brock Purdy, because he has the rest of this season to get it together. But you cannot, as an Iowa State, as a top 25 Iowa State, be beaten by unranked Louisiana and then look that bad. Look, if Louisiana would have came in there with spectacular special team play, and Brock Purdy had a good game, but the Iowa State defense let him down, and the Iowa State special teams let him down, I wouldn't be making this video right now, because football is multifaceted, right? But the reason I'm making this video is because there were plenty of areas where the team let Brock Purdy down, but there were just as many areas where Brock Purdy let the team down. Now, like I said, he's got a long time, and hey, to this point, he has shown that he is a capable quarterback, but I don't think it's fair to put him in the top 10 anymore. And the reason is because, hey, fair or unfair, given the sample I have seen this year, a team that you should have blown out stomped you. Iowa State, y'all paid Louisiana to come up there and whoop you. Hey, that can't possibly help, and I don't think that in a week where we saw Grant Wells go out of his mind a week before, we can remain with a Brock Purdy above him in a top 10 list. And we can argue that, sure, Grant Wells played Eastern Kentucky. Brock Purdy played Louisiana. And they were a top-ranked team. Top 25 ranked team. And it didn't look good. The whole game, I kept sitting there waiting and waiting. And I remember when the fourth quarter came on, I looked at my buddy and I said, hey, this is where Brock Purdy's going to show what he's made of, because he has to. They're down. It's close. He's got to perform, because through the first three quarters, he just hasn't. And that performance never came. So that'll do it for this video. Stick around, because we're talking about the Cleveland Browns and the Bengals game next, and why this boring game actually matters. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. See ya.